While watching a lot of the Sparking Zero trailers that actually came out for this game, I'm excited more than the next person. Obviously, I will be covering this game extensively. I can't wait to play and get my hands on this game. But Sparking Zero is amazing. But there's some caveats that we need to talk about that Sparking Zero actually does not cover. So with Sparking Zero, I expected obviously a very huge roster. It's supposed to cater to the exact same thing with BT3, where we had exponentially a huge roster. Basically, everybody was there. From Dragon Ball all the way to Dragon Ball GT, you can find every single character that you want on your team in that bid. But there was obviously some characters that was missing in between the series because they were in really mainly a very big role. And when we go to Xenoverse 2, where you guys know Xenoverse 2 has a shit ton of characters. Most of them were not there, but it was there a little bit after with the expansion of the DLC, which Sparking Zero is going to go into. We already got confirmed for DLC 1, 2, and 3. So this is the reason why I say Sparking Zero is amazing, but it does not cover everything it actually should. And we're going to start off with GT. So obviously GT was a big, and I mean a big thing. We didn't see Rildo, we didn't see Super 17, but a lot of people forget about the very intricate villains that made GT what it was. The Grand Tour, the Battle of the Nautican, the Saiyan Strong, the Battle of the Nautican. Like, we don't have every representation of GT. I'm a big GT fan. You might not be in the comment section down below. You might not be a big GT, but me as a huge GT fan, I always wondered where these characters is at. And I was expecting, hopefully, that we can walk away in Sparking Zero having these characters introduced. And Bandai, for some reason, if you don't have these in the DLC pack, feel free to add these, man, because I'm telling you, there's people like me actually want to see correct GT representation. So the first thing besides Rildo in the Super 17, and you don't even have to include Rildo's army. I would honestly expect you to do so, but if we don't cross that road, that's fine, whatever. But you gotta at least have Rildo in there. Super 17 not being in there was a huge crime. I felt like that. Everybody asked, wait, where's Super 17? We went from GT, we went to straight up to the Shadow Dragons. We skipped completely Super 17's little like mini arc there. And Hell 17, like guys, Trench Coat 17, how are you just not gonna miss out on that fire fit, okay? But we are also missing Mew. If you guys don't know who Mew is, Mew, my boy Mew, okay? From GT, completely overlooked. Mew was not added. About also Legic. Legic as well was not added as well too. Legic not being added was quite literally insane. I think a lot of people like me ask, where's Legic at? If you really think about it, Legic was kind of like Nova Shinron. Nova Shinron scene, he acted on his own accordance. He fought with honor and what was fair. And I thought that was pretty cool. If you really think about it, Legic was kind of like the very first mercenary assassin extraterrestrial life form that we've seen besides Hit. And we don't even have the representation in any game. Probably a mod, but not in any Dragon Ball Z game that I can recollect. We had Legic in there. And then I got my boy Lude. Lude is also not in there. You know, so we are missing Mew, the doctor who created 17, with Dr. Gero for Super 17. We can get Mew in there. Legic should be in there, in my opinion. He was like the first main boss that was giving Goku in his childlike body the works. How are we just not going to add Legic in there, man? Legic was pretty cool with the dual swords. What? And then Lude. Lude as a giant character, we can definitely put Lude up in there. We've never had Lude, and I'm not talking about Lube, shout out to Diddy. But I ain't talking about that one. We ain't going to the Dizzler party. We're talking about some GT party. Lude should be in there as a giant character as well, too. I would love to see Lude actually within the game. Because, in my opinion, he can definitely fit on the Giants category. Like, this is Dokkan. Definitely still can, though. But he definitely can fit on a giant theme in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. And then lastly, Muchi. Muchi with the whips. Why don't we have Muchi? This is legit the first planet that they visited that was giving Goku in them the works. I still don't understand why we don't have them in proper representation. I personally would have liked it to have those in the game. And hopefully for Sparking Zero, they can institute that in DLC 1, 2, or 3, whatever is supposed to have Super 17 in there. Because we know Super 17 is coming. Super 17 is definitely DLC. You can't have Dragon Ball GT without Super 17. Because then it ain't Super. And nobody can defeat Super 17 when he's Super, obviously. So those are the reason why I feel like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero does not have the full complete roster. And possibly never will unless they institute those type of characters in there. Now, I'm not saying every little grunt character has to get added, but I would love to see these characters get their shine in Sparking Zero. And you can let me know down in the comment section down below if you feel the same way with me or not. Would you guys like to see the representation in the game, or do you feel like they're kind of like grunt villains and they don't really matter per se, and overall just having them within the character selection? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who actually like playing with logic. And hey, and you got someone who want to use whips. You got Moochie. I feel like this is a valid argument that we can have about that, and I feel like that's the reason why we can't say yes, this is going to be one of the biggest rosters that we will ever see. Between the Xenoverse and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, this will be one of the biggest rosters we will ever see. But it's not going to be complete until I see those characters in there. And then obviously we're going to go into manga track. Manga track, I'm pretty sure they're going to have those characters in there anyways. But if they don't, we will revisit this, because more than likely they're going to add all of the villain characters from the Moro arc, the Gas arc, obviously Superhero. And then once we get to, definitely Cell Max is going to be in the game. Hirudegon's in the game. Eliza's in the game. Most definitely, they're going to be in the game. And then we got the Black Frieza arc that's going to be coming up as well, too. So, obviously, we are going to be expecting a lot more characters coming in as DLC. But these characters has been underused and underdeveloped for years in the Dragon Ball Z community. Years in the anime game community. Years in the Dragon Ball Z anime game community, and even in mods. So, me personally, I will love to see my boy Mew, my boy Legic, my boy Lude, and my boy Moochie. The next topic that I have to talk about with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and like I said, this is not a hate video. This is kind of what I want to see more of. I'm expecting a patch update when the game comes out. It's inevitable, I'm pretty sure. But the only big fear that I had with this game was the see-through ground. In glimpses between trailers from the old build and even the new build, we've seen where the map has gone see-through and you really can't see what's going on above the fight. We haven't seen too much in-water game footage as well. That's another point that I will like to address, that hopefully it's not that bad. Xenoverse was god awful. Xenoverse was, oh my god, that was terrible. Fighting on a water level that had any type of lake, ocean, whatever the case may be, was like finding a hay in a needle stack. It was difficult. It was horrible. So hopefully Xenoverse does not replicate that exact same thing. But to see through the ground is really annoying. I hope that gets fixed. I hope that camera angle can get panned in a certain way that it locks, where it doesn't go beneath a certain axis in the video game and the coding. So we don't have that weird thing where we're looking from the down up, where we can't actually see our entire character and what's going up, what's going on. Especially in this one where you can get picked up off the ground with certain animations. So you're not safe when you hit the ground. When you get a hard knockdown, you can get picked back up. So I think it'll be very inconvenient when we're playing online or even local play, where I can't actually see what's going on because half my screen is under the ground blue with like little grasses springing out. And then, you know, I'm getting my ass kicked above the ground. So that's kind of like my major fear with that in the water. Now, what can be the next thing to level this game up that I would see? The only thing that I can see that will make undeniably this game one and done. Like, I mean, not even a close comparison to his predecessor. Well, successor comes into play. We've been spoiled by Fighter Z for too long. And I think it's weird to have a Dragon Ball fighting game without having dramatic scenes. If we can get some dramatic scenes for like the ending, where if we do a certain attack or whatever, and we can trigger a certain dramatic scene or sequence, that's all I'm asking for. That would be awesome. Other than that, I don't have anything else that can make this game beyond what it is. Like I said, this video is not to hate. This was only like 3 main points that I had to make. And I kind of wanted to follow up on it because I feel like when it comes to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, it's not complete. It can be complete, most definitely. The roster, we're going to get a lot more characters. More than likely, we're going to get a lot more character. The roster will be incomplete until I can see those characters on there. And if you're not a GT fan, okay, fine. Fair enough. It's not your cup of tea. All right? Who asked you? It's my video. You can get out. But also, thank you for watching. But yeah, Legic, especially Legic. I don't understand why people don't bring up Legic as much as he should. Legic is fucking awesome. I just think that I think definitely GT just got the brunt of being too underrepresented. Because when you think about GT, who you think about? Super Saiyan 4 Goku. He's the face. He is the face of GT. And co-aligning with that, Gogeta Super Saiyan. And then it's Vegeta Super Saiyan 4. Then you got Baby. Then you got Omega Shenron. Then you got Super 17, which, like I said, it's weird that Super 17 was not in there. He's gonna be in the game. Most definitely DLC. But he's gonna be in the game. But what us missing Mew, Hellfighter 17, Super 17, Legic, Lude, and Muchi, those are characters that me personally will love to see. Other than that, I don't have anything else on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. I can't wait to play. As of recording this, it's the 29th. I can't wait to get my hands on this game. Like I said, we're gonna be having a lot of content here. Tournaments, gameplays, collaborations, everything in the whole 9 yards. So make sure you guys are here for that. And we're gonna be streaming Dragon Ball Sparking Zero as well too. Make sure you guys are here for that or be squared. But that's all I gotta say. It's not a video to hate. It's not, truly, I mean no harm. I'm not trying to ruin anybody's fun. But get my boy a legend, get a time to shine, man.